Hi, I'm Kevin Arroyave Arias.
Hello, my name is Maria Alejandra.
And today we're going to talk about our teachers that we had in our past, and also we're going to develop a kind of project, didactical project, to create a better teaching based on what we saw along our experience. So, Maria Alejandra, you can start with your presentation.
My teacher is Edilberto. Who Edilberto was my English teacher in high school. Teaching methods, traditional communication and explaining of concepts, mainly user literal translation, limiting the user studying of the language. Lack of practical example and real life situation to apply English. Classroom management. Authoritarian approach to manage student behavior. Teacher resources. Limited use of technology and education resources rely on printed material, textbook, and written exercise. Impact on the learning. So many students acquire basic dramatical structure struggle to apply them. Negative focus on participation and effective learning. Lead interaction led the superficial learning and a lack of effective communication is critical. Thank you.
So then I'm going to continue with my presentation. So first, the teacher that I'm going to talk about is the teacher Steve. He was my teacher in the level A2 in the CIA Idiomas Academy. So, well, I talk about this that I met him when I was studying in that virtual course. So I was arriving to, well, I was getting to A2 level, and the academy designated that teacher for me and my group. So, talking about his methodology, I was trying to focus on speaking. That was like his favorite part. So, he used like a middle of the class to make a speaking session, a really big speaking session, and then he used the other part of the class to teach us using the guides that the academy provides him. So he was like speaking a lot because he trusts that he believed that that was the most important part of the learning, of at least of the language learning. And I think that that's something that made us improve a lot. He also used the text guides, but we were also using the speaking on that part because we were answering the question using our voices, and also we were like well, speaking all the time because we also had to read the text by ourselves, reading aloud. And yeah, that was a good methodology for me, I think. His approachment. So for me, he was a really cool person. He was like always like conversating with us. He was like conversating with a friend because he was like talking about experience, opinions. It was like not like or like well, it wasn't like a question, how is your name? It was like, hey man, how are you? It was like you're talking to your bro or something. Yeah, talking like, uh, s- talking like that is really good because it connects with the students. For me, it's something great about him. Resources. Well, talking about his resources, the most important resource for him, or at least the one that he used a lot, was the discourse and the conversation also, because he was always talking, so always talking with us. So that's something that create a powerful connection with the language for him and also for us, which made us improve a lot. Also use the guides that I mentioned before because the academy had an schedule that we, for example, in that class we had to learn this topic like present continuous and that. So he also has to be stick to the guide. Also, he used like a virtual page or games, kind of like word wall or quizzes to teach us in a more fun way because sometimes the classes could get a little boring. So he tried to get us some fun sometimes. So talking about his impact on the students or on us, I could say that he was a really, really good teacher because he always tried to make us speak, even if we were not at the level that we were supposed to be. But he was always trying to speak with us, and he was adapting himself to the level that we had. So I think that that's something good in a teacher because most of the teachers don't think about the students, only think to, oh, I'm teaching this topic, so I had to teach this and show them this content. No, he was like doing a pers- kind of personalized classes by sticking to the schedule, but I think that he was a very great teacher because mostly of us were very shy to talk, but after a few classes with him, we were talking a lot. So that was teacher Steve, and thank you. Next, we're going to continue with the comparison. So you can start, Maria Alejandra.
In my opinion, the learning process was completely different because my classmate teacher taught while love.
So I'm continuing saying that the teacher that I had is not comparable to your teacher because your teacher were like a little bad, if we tell the truth. Yeah, he was a little bad because your teacher was like stick to the traditional methods or also to your the sorry Spanish. He was stick to the schedule that the academy or the school that you were had. So he wasn't really trying to teach you something. He was like, oh, I'm gonna show you this and that, and now my work is done. But that's not teaching, that's just showing a content, just that's not something good. Contrary, my teacher, Steve, was like always passionate for his job. He was trying to make us learn. He was doing a good job and he was doing the things that he believed that were correct. So I think my teacher was a lot better. Your teacher was real bad. Then we're continuing with the didactical project. So Maria Alejandra is gonna present.
Introduction. My classmates and I have diagnostic at the quality of English teaching varies among teachers. Some are at to connect why a student will lead towards fast difficultation. These perhaps arms to process effective solution to improve English teaching and ensure quality education for us. Objectives 1. Identify are for improvements in English teaching. 2. For their collaboration among teachers. 3. Implement efficient teaching strategies to benefit and students.
So I'm gonna talk about the deep content of the project. The project would be more like a workshop. This workshop is focused on create a kind of connection between the students and the teachers because then, well, I'm gonna tell you what are going to be the parts of the workshop. First, there's gonna be a warm-up. In this warm-up, the students and also the teachers are going to tell about themselves because if we only ask the students to do it, we are like creating a superiority feeling in the teacher. So we are trying to connect them to make them think that they are the same. They are always learning, even if they are teachers or if they are students. After that warm up, we are going to have reading session. So in this reading session, there's gonna be like a kind of history about students or about the school that the students are going to read and also the teachers all by themselves. So they're going to read aloud and then some of them are going to answer some questions about the text. After that, we're going to have an writing session. Sorry, no, the writing session is for later. We're going to have a listening session. In this part, the students are going to listen to an audio where there's a kind of reflection about teaching and about the language. So, in that audio, after they listen to that audio, the students and also the teachers are gonna provide their opinion about what they think about it. After that, we're going to have a writing session. This session, the students are going to describe or like write an experience that they have had about English learning because that's the focus on centering the focus on ourselves and the experience that we have had along our learning. After that, then continues the speaking session. This part, the students are going to, well, first read that text that they wrote recently aloud, and then they're going to conversate about it between them and between the teachers. So that's gonna have like a kind of thing where the students and the teacher going to connect with the experience of the others, and then they're going to be thinking like, "Oh, that's something that has happened to me," so I can be more, yeah, I can relate to you. After that, there's gonna be like kind of reflection where the students and the teachers are going to tell what they did good and what they did bad along this workshop. And because of that, there's gonna be like a kind of reflection about shyness and how to decrease it, and also to reflection about how to be a good teacher and how to teach in a well way, because that's something that the teachers something sometimes don't pay attention to. So that's the end of the project, and we could say goodbye.
Thank you.